Hi, this is Veronica Napier, Library Media Specialist at Central Elementary School. This instructional video is about Pixton software. Pixton is a web-based application for creating and producing comics for educational purposes. I'm creating this video tutorial because I believe in Pixton. Pixton has proved to be a valuable tool in my school library setting, and I want to carry the message of this wonderful instrument to others. Pixton can be used anywhere in any educational setting at any grade level. Video section 1. So what is Pixton? Well, Pixton is just a simple web-based application for creating and making comics. Teachers can go in and create assignments, and students can complete assignments. It's super easy to use. For example, here's a student work sample from history about change over time in transportation. Here's another student work sample for math about area and perimeter. If ever you need to pause the video, go ahead so you can read the comics. Why should we use Pixton? Because recent studies have shown that comics and graphic novels are more prevalent now than any other time. In 2009, Deborah Villadero from Education Weekly said, "Once a fuel for mass book burnings, comic books are gaining a foothold in the nation's schools, with teachers seeing them as a learning tool and scholars viewing them as a promising subject for educational research." Fordham University's Graduate School of Education in New York City hosted the first ever graphics conference in 2009. James Bucky Carter was a keynote speaker at the event, and he said, "There's multiple studies to suggest that students who read comics go on to read more and to read more varied literature." So why comics now? Because the academic interest comes as sales of graphic literature are exploding worldwide, and libraries and bookstores in the United States are setting aside sections to display it. That's also from Education Weekly. Pixton is affordable too. There are packages as low as 77 cents per student per semester. It's full of educational ideas. You can go into any subject area, language arts, math, social studies, and look up a lesson plan, and it will give you a comic to go along with that lesson plan, or an idea for you to create an assessment for your students. It's easily monitored. I know that web applications are kind of stringent today in public schools, so much because of social media like Facebook and Twitter and things. It's hard to monitor social media, but this is easily monitored. It's not a fear of letting your students go on to Pixton. Overall, Pixton is just a great educational tool to have. Video section 2, the goals and objectives. By the end of this video, the viewers will be able to manipulate the Pixton software and implement Pixton in an educational setting. The activity objectives, the viewers will be able to create a 3-strip comic about Abraham Lincoln using the Pixton software. This is just a starter activity for basic use of Pixton. Here's a formative assessment for you too. You can rate your work between 1 and 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest, with a possible score of 25 points. Here's your criteria for your Abraham Lincoln comic. Your comic has 3 separate scenes. Your comic displays 2 characters engaging in dialogue. The comic states 2 correct facts about Abraham Lincoln. The text is readable, relevant to font and size, and the scenes, the characters in the background, are relevant to the context of the comic. Prerequisite knowledge is pretty easy. All you have to do is know how to type, copy, and paste. As my students would say, it's easy cheesy. Video section 3. Now let's get to work. First, you want to log on to Pixton using one of the following usernames displayed on the next slide. You can use any student name, any username that there is in the left-hand column. Every password is Central5. This is what you'll see when you go to Pixton for Schools. Once you log in, you'll see the Assignments tab. Click on the Assignments tab at the top and choose Abraham Lincoln Comic. You can pause the video at any time to do this. Now you want to click Create a Comic. As you can see, I've already put a student sample in there. This one is two boys, obviously in a school, because you can see the lockers behind them. The smaller boy says, "Who is Abraham Lincoln?" The taller one says, "Well, he was the President of the United States." And then he says he also issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. And then the other boy was just like, "Really? Wow." Now, for you to get started on your Abraham Lincoln comic, you'll just want to do the quickie format. You want to choose a template of your preference with at least 2 characters. Choose the characters of your preference, any characters that you want. There are pages upon pages of characters. Once you've chosen your characters, open a new tab to the internet and go to gardenofpraise.com /leaders/HTM. Scroll down under the presidents and click on Abraham Lincoln. You'll have a plethora of information given to you about Abe Lincoln. Choose at least 2 facts about him that make him significant. You'll post these facts into your comic. Click on the balloon box to enter the dialogue. You can also change the colors, the wardrobe positions, and even the facial expressions of your characters with the given tabs on the left and bottom. You want to play around with it to get it the way you want it. It's your comic. Here I have 2 girls sitting in the lunchroom. The older one says, "Who is Abe Lincoln?" "Well, he was the 16th President of the United States." "Huh?" "Yes, and he was assassinated in 1865. And then she looks a little bit too full and says, "You have a lot to learn, my friend." Finished? Once you're finished, go ahead and do your self-assessment. You'll want to give yourself a score between 1 and 5. Your comic has 3 separate scenes. If you have a peer close by, they can help you. But more than likely, you can do it on your own. Your comic displays at least 2 characters engaging in dialogue. Your comic states 2 correct facts about Abe Lincoln. Your text is readable, and your scenes are relevant to the context of the comic. If your masterpiece is finished, just click Save and Submit. An email will be sent to the person who created the assignment. Then they can do the summative assessment. Once your pieces have been sent to your teacher, he or she can look over the work that you've done and give you a final grade. The teacher will be using the same scorecard that you used. And there's just a picture of the one that the teacher will be using. And the references for Pixton.com. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope that you log on to Pixton. Thanks.